And for the first time, there was a new school of thought that was chemically induced that made people question the very society they lived in. By 1960, the President of the United States was only 42 years old. Can you imagine? DMX is older than that. And he was going to usher in a new era of peace. He was going to avoid the Cold War. He was going to end segregation. And they blew his things out in front of everyone in Dallas. This country was never the same.
Right now, if you had them prepare themselves in whatever way they would have to prepare themselves to come to battle, and I bet what I have, everything I have, is that meatloaf.
Are there any good white people in the world?
There may be, but it doesn't matter. And you know why? No matter how good an individual white person may be, they have an obligation to look out for the best interests of the white race.
I seen this dude screaming, crying, saying, "You fuckers did it right now. I don't want to hear nothing from you self-righteous libs, Democrats. We're coming for you." Knowing damn well the person that did it, y'all know what it is. Betty White.
Okay, y'all. We really need to talk about how Charlie Kirk's fans are trying to blame black and brown people for what happened, just because they not mourning a man who literally said black people were better off before civil rights since they committed fewer crimes.
This shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
And the same people who mocked Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, and countless other black people who were killed are now upset about how people are reacting to Charlie Kirk. It almost feels like there's a common denominator. Anyway, black celebrities are weighing in. Some are trying to be diplomatic, but others aren't holding back, openly saying they have zero sympathy for Charlie Kirk. 50 Cent even dropped a post so reckless he was pressured to delete it. And now, some of Charlie's followers are literally threatening his life. Meanwhile, they've said nothing about the victims of the Colorado school shooting that happened just hours after Charlie was shot. Amanda Seales called that out and made it clear she has no empathy for Charlie. On the other hand, Dr. Umar is urging black people not to celebrate Charlie's death, warning that it sends the wrong message. So what do these reactions really mean? Is it just shock value? Or does it reveal something deeper about America's divisions? Stick around, because I'm breaking down exactly what these celebs said, what they deleted, and why their words are shaking up the conversation around Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
That's your explanation, but
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been.
That affected?
The first big name to weigh in was none other than 50 Cent. And in true 50 fashion, he didn't post some polished statement or condolences. Instead, he dropped a screenshot of the moment Charlie Kirk was shot and captioned it. Want to know how I feel about this? I don't know. But I do know it's a good time to shut the fun up. You already know Charlie Kirk's supporters lost their minds. They accused 50 of being heartless, insensitive, and even celebrating Kirk's death. Comment sections lit up with fans saying 50 is over and needs to be canceled for good. Some even threatened him, writing things like, "Hope you're next." The backlash must have hit, because that post didn't last long. 50 quietly deleted it within hours. But not everyone thought he was wrong. Many defended him, pointing out that Charlie Kirk built his brand on minimizing black suffering, spreading racist conspiracy theories, and mocking black victims of police brutality. Their point was simple: don't expect sympathy for a man who never gave any empathy to us. One fan said, "I'm not feeling any sympathy for someone who would call me every slur in the book. Sorry, bookie." Another wrote, "All this outrage is performative nonsense, while parents losing children to school shootings get silence." Next up was DL Hughley, and you already know he didn't hold back. First, DL shared a TikTok video pointing out the irony of Charlie saying it's worth having some shooting victims here and there if it means he can keep his guns. And by the way, that's a direct quote from Charlie. He really did say gun deaths are worth it.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
But DL Hughley didn't stop there. He shared a video of Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, asking members of Congress to pray for Charlie Kirk and his family. And DL wasn't having it, because the hypocrisy is insane. In his caption, he wrote, "Has Mike Johnson ever done this for victims of school shootings? Did he do this for Congresswoman Hortman and her husband Mark, who were unalived?" Then, when news broke that Trump ordered US flags flown at half-mast to honor Charlie Kirk, DL went off again, saying, But he ordered the flags raised from half-mast when it was for the Pope. We haven't lowered flags for innocent children who've been unalived. He didn't order them lowered for Congresswoman Hortman. Is this a tragic event? Yes. Does it deserve that kind of ceremony? You know the answer. And DL didn't stop there. He called out another layer of right-wing hypocrisy, how Charlie Kirk and his supporters always claimed empathy was weakness. But now they're demanding empathy for the same man who said he couldn't stand the word empathy and called it a made-up term.
Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but it...
I have watched any number of people of all kinds of stripes, people, theologians, politicians, people who consider themselves activists, all kinds of people on the conservative right talk about empathy, and they talked about empathy as if it was a pariah, empathy as if it was a moral failing, and they referred to empathy as a weakness. And it's interesting that they would call themselves Christian and be anti-empathy, because that is the a core tenet of Christianity. So that is being a Christian without the empathy is like being a sushi chef without fish. But empathy is apparently a weakness to a lot of people. And you never know, but I've always believed and hold this now, that empathy is quintessentially human. It is the core of humanity. It certainly is the core of Christianity, if you call yourself Christ-like. But how is it that you can despise empathy, that you think it is a weakness, that you think that people are susceptible to it like it's the cold or the flu, and that you despise empathy, but would like it when someone who you love is hurt or killed? We can either decide to be human and empathic, whether we relate to, like, or understand a person or not. But in America, nothing is more American. Nothing is more quintessentially who we are than violence against people we disagree with, and then having a lack of empathy when we don't relate to them, when we don't like them, when they don't look like us. I don't know how you can be a Christian nation and call yourself a Christian nation and extol the virtues of Christianity, but only be empathic when they look like you. That's not Christianity. That's not humanity. That's tribalism.
But DL wasn't done yet. He came back with a video compilation titled Hate and Bigotry, Charlie Kirk's Real Legacy, and he had more receipts. He also posted a clip of Charlie denying that George Floyd was killed by a cop, and proudly admitting he wanted Derek Chauvin released. Finally, DL hinted at a bigger story that's being brushed aside, the theory that Charlie was taken out by the very same people he defended. DL wrote, "I just want to remind everyone that when someone shot Trump, immediately it was, the radical left this, the liberal extremist that, and it ended up being someone from his own side." He added in the caption, "Remember, when you point a finger at someone, there are 3 fingers on that hand pointing back at you." Now, to be clear, DL wasn't cheering anyone on. He was dissecting the racial and political optics, pointing out how we treat gun violence differently depending on who's involved. But of course, Kirk's fans were furious, accusing DL of deflecting from the tragedy and making excuses for the shooter. On the flip side, plenty of people agreed, saying these folks are just looking for a reason to start a race war, and they're mad that black people are minding their business and not taking the bait. But DL Hughley isn't the only one catching heat from Kirk's supporters. Amanda Seales is also getting dragged after making it clear she wasn't about to muster up any empathy for Charlie Kirk. During a live Instagram chat, Amanda fired back at people demanding she show compassion. She pointed out that Charlie himself didn't believe in empathy, saying it was a bad thing and just some made-up nonsense. Amanda explained, "I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk didn't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing, a new age made-up. He also said people have to be sacrificed in order to protect guns. If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, maybe I'd have a little empathy. But this white-on-white violence? He died. Damn, B. Life comes at you fast, comes at you."
I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit. He also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns. If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy. But this white on white violence, he died? Damn, B. Life comes at you fast. I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk because I cannot be in his shoes. I have no frame of reference for that. I have no cognizance for that. There literally is nothing about his existence that I can relate to.
You already know Charlie's fanboys came for Amanda, calling her every name in the book. And it's not just white people. Scroll X and you'll see black men calling Amanda scum, the B word, idiot, sociopath, piece of S, and every other slur you can imagine. Meanwhile, the white trolls are out here demanding she be denaturalized or deported and whining about black fatigue. Despite all that hate, Amanda had a lot of defenders. Many people pointed to Charlie Kirk's long history of racist, anti-black rhetoric and argued Amanda wasn't celebrating a death. She was refusing to offer fake sympathy for someone whose public life caused so much harm and division. One fan wrote, "Nowhere did she celebrate his death. She said she doesn't have empathy for him. He said empathy is a dangerous New Age word. He said that himself. Is it sad he was killed? Yes. Does everyone have to care? No. He spread actual hate and lies. I will not celebrate his death, but I will not be mourning either. That doesn't make me evil." Another person added, "She's too real." Now let's talk about Dr. Umar Johnson. People expected him to react like Amanda, but instead he lectured black people about their responses. Umar said jokes and memes about the assassination crossed a line. In an Instagram statement, he wrote, paraphrased, he disagreed with Kirk's rhetoric and called him an anti-black bigot, but he will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in murdering a member of the black community. He said he's ashamed to see members of his community celebrating and warned that political assassinations are back in the US, courtesy of the deep state. So don't laugh, prepare. Unsurprisingly, Umar's followers weren't having it. They accused him of moralizing and softening the blow. One commenter asked if Umar would have written that if they shot him. Others pointed out people aren't celebrating, they're just not mourning. Someone even went off, writing, 50 lashes for you, Dr. Umar, for posting this. People warned him not to give away his energy to vampires. So yeah, the internet is losing it, and the chaos looks like it's only going to get worse. Here's the dark truth. Whoever was behind this assassination got exactly what they wanted: more division. The country is more split than ever, and the reactions show how easily violence can be weaponized to tear us apart. Celebrities, politicians, regular people, everyone has an angle. In the end, the outrage is precisely what the act was designed to provoke. What do you make of these reactions from 50, Umar, Amanda, and the rest? Are we capable of talking about the bigger picture, or are we too divided to see we're serving the same puppet masters? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.